County. I would like to introduce to you now Ruby Krebs, Marsha Warren, and Robert Salido, thank you, who is a member of the Mayor's Office of the LGBT Advisory Committee for the reading of the City Proclamation.
City of San Antonio Proclamation. Whereas the San Antonio World AIDS Day Collaborative will observe World AIDS Day by hosting its Gathering of Remembrance and Hope event at St. Philip's College on December 1st, 2014, to honor the memory of the individuals who lost their lives to HIV/AIDS and to show support for those who are striving. And whereas over 1 million Americans are estimated to be living with HIV/AIDS, the epidemic that has no cure and threatens not only our own nation, but the entire world. And whereas the collaborative is comprised of local community-based and AIDS service organizations, faith-based institutions, and public leaders to address the devastating impact of HIV/AIDS community. And whereas education of HIV/AIDS helps reduce the stigma surrounding the disease and decreases its spread, while knowledge promotes responsible behavior and protects our families and society. Now, therefore, I, Ivy R. Taylor, Mayor of the City of San Antonio, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim December 1st, 2014 to be World AIDS Day in San Antonio, Texas, and encourage citizens to join the global effort to prevent the further spread of HIV/AIDS and the steps necessary to prevent its spread through our communities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of San Antonio to be affixed this first day of December 2014, Ivy R. Taylor, Mayor.
On behalf of myself, my name is Reverend Mick Henson, and I'm the senior pastor of the Metropolitan Community Church, and one of my co-leaders, Regina Villalobos, who is in the back area here. We would like to welcome each and every one of you to this World AIDS Day. We are a part of a collaborative effort of agencies all through the city of San Antonio to put together this event each year. This year is the 6th observance of our community-wide observance, and we are so glad that you are a part of it, and we're so glad that NOWCast is with us, and I want to thank everyone at this point who helped put this event together. You are very much appreciated, and we greatly, greatly are honored by your presence and your work that you have done this year. In your program, you will have a more extensive thank you, but I would like to specifically lift up 2 people who are not on the program. Number one is this gentleman to my left. His name is Martin Lopez, and he has volunteered his services to sign this event, so we want to thank him from our hearts for his work this evening. And some of you who came a little bit earlier heard the gifts of our DJ. His name is Andrew Fuentes, and he did a wonderful job outside while people were getting tested and coming to the gathering to get information. So we're very happy and pleased that he was able to participate this evening too. So we want to give him a round of applause. In your program, you should also, well, it's not in your program, I'm sorry. There is a flyer that is floating around. It was placed on every one of the tables out in the foyer area. It is a program, it is a flyer from NOWCast San Antonio, and it instructs you as to how you can retrieve this program as it is going live as we are doing it now. You will also be able to access it later on just to view it and see, just to participate in it all over again. So we're so happy that they are here and willing to help us and to get this out. So at this moment, There's a couple of announcements. You all should have a glow stick. My strong suggestion is that you don't spin it around, because if you spin it around, it will fly off and also ignite. So I'm asking you not to do anything, because later on we're asking you to pop your glow sticks outside so we can all illuminate brilliant red, okay? So please don't spin it around. You might put your eye out. Amen? All right. So without further ado, we will begin our program.
Reading of names. Dwayne S. Linda S. Linda T. Erica T. Kim V. Troy W. Jeffrey Y.
Patty, Emmanuel, Noemi, Gloria, Jennifer, Linda, Christina, Katrina, Egyptian, San Juanita.
Miranda A., Bobby B., Edward B., Steve B., Robert C., David C., Cindy D., John D., Sandra D., and James D.
David F., Hector F., Max G., Gary H., David M., Russell N., Volton P., John R., Anna S., and Joe S. We would like now to take this time to invite all of you to speak the names of your loved ones who have died from complications due to HIV and AIDS.
Uncle Jack, Alberta, Marky Wolf, Roy, Thomas, Christina, Cat, John B.,
found out I was HIV positive about 1.5 years ago, and it was quite shocking when I first found out. I was really depressed for a good 4 or 5 months. Your life is not over, you know. It may seem like it may seem like your whole world is turned upside down, but you know, maybe that is time for you to, you know, reevaluate things and kind of figure things out.
I was diagnosed with HIV in 1991, December 1991, here in Houston, Texas, at the University of Houston. I was a college student, and I had received a phone call from a girlfriend of mine, and she starts off the call like we all do in girlfriend land. We say, "Ooh, girl." And she told me that she had heard a guy I dated was HIV positive. And so right after that, I, of course, once I kind of figured out what it was and what it meant, I went to the university, I got tested, and learned my status then.
I found out I was HIV positive. I was having chest pains, and I ended up going to the emergency room. I thought it was stress, maybe just me. I lost a lot of weight. They told me I was positive and that my CD4 was really, really low. I felt numb. I think I was in denial, running, oh, this is not me, this is not me, this is not me. But I had to take a step back and realize, okay, I have to live not only for me, but my daughter. So I have to get myself together, make sure I'm healthy, make sure I'm doing all the right things, so I'm there for her.
So I found out I was HIV positive almost 7 years ago. May 20th, 2000, I was the 20th person in a clinic on the 20th of May, and I was 20 years old. So I swore I was a lucky person at that point. I received a call from partner notification saying somebody that I came in contact with was HIV positive, found out they were HIV positive, and I was feeling everything. I was feeling happy, sad. I wanted to cry. I wanted to laugh. I was angry. Every stream of emotion that I could possibly feel at that moment hit me at that one single moment when you hear somebody say, you know, I'm sorry, but you have HIV. It wasn't until, you know, a day later or 2 days later when I really had time to sit back and think about it that it really sunk in and saying, you know, okay, this is what happened. Now you know, what's your next steps? What do you do next?
Candace was born in 1995. So 5 years later, I got married, and she came along, and you know, HIV negative. You know, we tested her at birth, and I did the whole perinatal plan where I took the medication while she was inside, and she's spoiled but great and healthy.
I would tell them to talk, because I didn't talk, and I kept it in for a long time, and it almost destroyed me. If you just talk to the wall, talk. You know, as long as you get it out of you and out of your head, you would see your mind is much clearer. It's not cloudy.
So we found out about HIV. We've come a very long way, but we still have a long way to go, and part of that is prevention. And in doing so, you need to inform yourself about the disease as well as ways to prevent it.
Just kind of stole HIV's power from it by telling everybody. But I really do have to be everything that I am, and HIV is just a part of who I am. I'm a mother, I'm different things, and so, you know, I put it in my hand instead of being in its.
HIV doesn't define you. You're still a person, and HIV is just a virus. And you haven't lost who you are to this disease.
The most important message I think I would like to pass on to the younger generation is to actually talk and share information. If you can talk to your parents, great. I'm grateful that she tells me all the things that she has going on in her life. I'm grateful that she shares it with me, and so we can have full and engaging conversations.
My mother has HIV, but that does not define who she is.
Positive and negative, black, white, Asian and Hispanic, rich and poor.
young and old.
We can stop HIV by working together and supporting one another.
HIV is different now. Thanks to treatment, people living with HIV can live long, normal and healthy lives. The only way to be safe is to always play it safe. And it's healthy to talk openly about HIV. While many people think they can't make a difference, by simply treating people with HIV the same as everyone else, we believe you can help. How? Stand up for the facts on being HIV positive, and together we can put a full stop to HIV.
Hi, everybody. My name is Robert. Well, I've been HIV positive for about 3 years now. When I was 20, I got really sick and needed to be hospitalized, and that's when the doctors informed me about my status. And the first thing that came into my head was that my life was over, that there was no hope and there was no way out of it, and how was I going to tell people? How was I going to tell my family? And I felt like I let everybody down. I felt like I let myself down the most because I knew it was my fault. And I remember my first doctor's appointment, and they were telling me all these numbers about my viral load and my CD4, and this is what you need to eat, and this is how you get better. And I was just so overwhelmed with everything. It was a complete 180 life change, and I was clueless. The only stigma I had was that you get sick, you get really ill, and like, you die. And that's all I knew from HIV. I didn't know anything. I never looked it up. I never bothered finding out because I never thought it would happen to me. And I really hated myself at one point. I was just angry all the time, and I was bitter because I didn't understand why it happened to me. And I remember having a conversation with my best friend's mother, who I've always looked up to very much. And she told me that in HIV, it doesn't define you. It's not a death sentence anymore, and you can get through it. You shouldn't give up your goals and your dreams and your hopes, and you should fight and be strong and be a testimony that it's just a virus now. And that really sunk in for me because it made me realize that I'm still very young and I have a whole life to live and so much to do, and I have so much potential, so much to offer. And now I could definitely say that my perspective on the situation has definitely changed. I feel like even though it's not the best of situations, it was very helpful. I matured a lot, I grew up a lot. It definitely helped me see, you know, a brighter aspect. I began to really take care of myself and meet all these wonderful people and listen to their stories and have support and be involved. And I'm really happy to be here to share my story because I do feel like a testimony that HIV, I'm not dying of HIV, I'm just living with it. And I can keep going and keep striving and keep doing all the things I want to do, and I have. I've never been more happy in my life, actually. I'm really happy to be here and just to share my story, be a part of this, you know, let it be known. I want to break that stigma. I want to educate. I want to show people that HIV isn't what it used to be. We may not be where we want to be, but we're getting there. And I'm a living testimony towards that. So, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Savon Armas, and I have HIV. I first found out last January at the Martin Luther King event that they had. They were doing HIV testing. I'll start the story there then. Well, when I got there, it was any normal day for me. You know, I never went to Martin Luther King. I wanted to go see what it was about, and they ended up pitching me for volunteer work. The lady, she saw me, and she's like, hey, we need your help over here. And she whispers me, suckers me into it. She's like, hey, we're doing HIV tests here. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. She's like, we're giving out Walmart gift cards. Just come in here and take a minute. So I'm like, sure, whatever. I go in there. I sit down, and a guy named Mario, the people that were there, they were beat AIDS, and they took my sample of my saliva. I waited a few minutes, and I started seeing other people come in and leave, and I was wondering why mine was taking so long, and that's when I kind of got an idea that maybe, I have HIV. And before he even told me, I told him, and it's positive, isn't it? And he tried to break it to me easily, but I felt like everything just stopped for a minute. Like I had to take a minute to breathe. And I started to think about everything that I had done. I started to think about my actions. How did I get to this point? I started to think about the people that could have given it to me, people I could have given it to because of my actions. I was at a bad part of my life where I just didn't care about a lot of things and a lot of people, and I didn't know that. And that's when I found out that just by doing some actions, you can damage a lot of people, even if you're not thinking about it in the past. So I started to try to call the people that could have been affected by it. And it was really hard to try to tell somebody that you've been with that they could possibly have HIV and they could have got it from you. It's worse than embarrassment. It's something you have to do, because by not doing it, if you really care for somebody, it's wrong. So once I found out I had HIV, and I told the people, I didn't really know what to do at that point. I stopped going to see people. They tried to get me to get into treatment, but I stopped going. It took me about 6 months to finally get into treatment, and that was because of the rigorousness of the people that they have at Beat, like Sylvia. So, I want to say thank you a lot to Beat AIDS, because by going to them, I mean, they gave me a lot of things that I could have done to get my mind off of the whole situation. I ended up taking classes that helped and educate me about HIV and AIDS, and it opened my eyes up to see that there are people out there, and just like they always told me, they don't want to see me become one of the people that went with the program, and they didn't do anything about it, and then 5, 10 years later, maybe they're affected by it, or they're really sick, or something else, or I'm going around infecting other people with this deadly virus, because it is a deadly virus still, but you can take medications to prevent it. I can say that the worst thing for me was the stigma that comes with HIV. When you tell people that you have this disease, it can ruin friendships. It's ruined a few of mine. It's gotten me, pretty much banned from other places. I had friends that I thought, and they don't want to hang out with me anymore because they know I have HIV. And it's something that you want to keep safe, and you want to share it with people, but it's still something very confidential, because not everybody is accepting. Not like the people that you have at Beat, not like the people that you have here trying to show you what HIV is. And I guess the biggest thing is, the relationship issue and how you deal with it. You don't want to continue that lifestyle of dishing back out this virus, because, what they say, good karma, you do good things, bad karma, you do bad things. So I guess the best thing to do is keep yourself healthy, be safe, and be a good person. Don't let this be something that you can stop. You can stop this just by taking medication. It's nothing that serious anymore. It's not a death threat. But yeah, that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. I just want to thank y'all for being here. Okay, I won't bore y'all with this long soliloquy because it's very long and boring. I'll try to make it kind of funny. So, when I found out that I was HIV positive, first off, there was this long story that comes up to it. I was in a relationship with somebody, and we started like going out more than usual. I had just turned 24, somewhere around there,
And I was in college, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just go drinking every day. I'm still going to pass all my classes, whatever. So after that, we started going to house parties, which was better than going to the club because we got free booze instead of having to buy it then. And hey, I was like 24, I'm a college student, I'm broke, let's go. So one day, he had invited me to a party, and all I remember is that I turned and I told him to hold my beer, I have to go to the bathroom, and I'll be right back. The next thing I remember, I woke up in the hospital saying that I had been drugged and that I had been raped by 3 individuals. Once I heard that, I was all like, well, could be worse, you know, whatever. So me being 24, I was all like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna, it only happened once. Everybody looked normal at the party, so why not? Like, I don't need to take the medication, I'll be good. A couple months later, I went in for the 6-month checkup, and the test was still negative, so I was like, okay, cool, I'm in. So after that, I kept living my life. A few years down the road, I got really sick, and it was kind of weird because I've never been sick to where I had to go to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room, and they were thinking my appendix had burst, so they're like prepping me for surgery, and then they stopped for some reason. So I was just like, okay, cool, no surgery, I'm in. So I'm sitting there in a room full of people, and the doctor comes in, was all like, oh, your blood test came back. And I was like, okay, so what's making me sick, and how can we fix it? He said, you have HIV. And I was all like, oh, well, at least it's not cancer. And yeah, this is the ironic part. Because after that, I was still in the room because I was still sick, and 2 days later, they come in and they're like, oh, but our bad news, you have cancer. And I was all like, okay, well, I'm gonna stop thinking things in this hospital bed because everything I'm thinking is coming true. So I was all like, So I got out, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna die anyway, so I'm gonna take out this huge life insurance policy. I'm gonna get to do everything I wanted to. It was like the last holiday for me. I spent so much money, it wasn't even funny. I think I'm still in debt a little bit, but it's getting down. And so one day I was in my room, and my brother comes in, and he was just like, why have you just been living recklessly? And I was all like, because I want to and I can. And he was like, no, there's something seriously wrong about you. He's like, I just feel there's something wrong about you. And I was just like, well, so I explained the whole story to him, and like any other big brother by 5 minutes and 27 seconds would say, if I don't get into treatment, he would pretty much disown me. And so I was just like, okay. So that was my impetus to get into treatment. And then after that, it was kind of a back and forth game because I got into treatment, and then they were like, okay, well, now you have to go to chemotherapy. And I was like, well, really don't want to go to chemotherapy. And so I just stopped going to doctor's appointments altogether. And then I got hospitalized again, and I was like, well, maybe I should have went to chemotherapy. But, oh well. And so then a couple of months later, I finally snapped to, and I went to chemotherapy. But to get chemotherapy, I was also supposed to be going to get my heart regimen. So I was lying to the chemotherapist saying that I was going to the heart place, but I really wasn't. And so it just made everything worse. 6 months down the line, instead of battling one cancer, I ended up battling 2. I had caught Kaposi sarcoma, and my viral load was very high, and my T-cell count was down to about 14. And that's when it hit me. I was all like, okay, I did the math. I was like, I've been living for 3 years, HIV positive, I haven't died yet, and I did all this crazy stuff. I don't think I'm ever gonna die at this point, so I might as well just get my act together. And so I started getting in with the program, going along, getting on medication, and here I am, years later, perfectly healthy, undetectable, and for me, it was an experience. I can't say, I would like to sit up here and say that, oh, it was a bad experience, it was this horrible thing, but I can't. I can honestly say, if it wasn't for HIV, God knows where I would be. HIV saved my life. It was the reason why I started going back to school, and to get the degrees that I obtained, to do the research that I do now in the infectious disease department and the more HIV development medication kind of things, and why I'm now planning on moving so I can further that and get my PhD so I can do more research in it and the 12 tropical neglected diseases. So my story is a little bit different from everybody else's, and so I really don't know what to say because I never took it as I was being punished or it was something that happened. It was just another thing that I lived with. And because I was able to think of it that way, it was easier for me to deal and easier for me to accept what this was. Not knowing anything to knowing everything about it now, it's been a long journey, but it's been a good journey. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Ezekiel Gonzalez. I am 19 years old, and I've been HIV positive for about 21 months now. I was diagnosed when I was 17 years old. I guess I can say my story is a little different as well. I will start off first by saying that the hardest part in dealing with my diagnosis was having to deal with other people's reactions before I was able to deal with mine. Another hard part about it was that when I went to receive my results, it had been about maybe 5 to 6 months that I was having symptoms of HIV, and I was taking allergy medicines. And I just thought it was kind of crazy. So one day I just kind of got tired of taking allergy medicine. I said, look, Mom, I want to go to Central Med out in Somerset, Texas, and I want to get tested for HIV. I went in, got tested. Of course, they called back. I had to go in for my results. My mother wasn't available at that time. Everything I grew up doing was with my mother. I never, not that I didn't have my father around, but he was the man of the house. He supported us. He never did anything with us. So this time, all of a sudden, I'm going to get my HIV results, and for the first time ever, my father has to attend with me. And throughout my entire life, all he told me was that you're gay and you're going to get HIV. So that was the biggest stigma behind it, because now I had to go with my father and have the doctors basically prove him right. Shortly after, I kind of put up a story online, and the agency that I work for now was doing some online research. Not some online research, I apologize, some online outreach. And so this gentleman messaged me and said that they were looking for some volunteer work, if I wanted to do those things. And so I was like really interested in becoming a part of some type of volunteer work that helped people in the community with their HIV. And so with that agency's Beat AIDS Coalition, I've been there for maybe about 21 months, the full time that I've been HIV positive. The person who got me in there is sitting right up here in the back with my other half, Benjamin Garza. And it's really good. It's really, I guess for me, it's like I said, it wasn't nothing hard to deal with. It was something that came to me in my daily living that I could do nothing about. And I wasn't going to try and do nothing. And so I can say that HIV changed my life for the better. If I did not have HIV, I'd probably be a drug addict, alcoholic. And that's not something that I would like to look forward to be. I'm a happy person, and that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Hello. First off, I think we just need to thank all of our speakers once more. We've been saying that World AIDS Day is a celebration of those that have passed, but it's also a celebration of those living, and these folks and everybody that does something trying to educate people about HIV and AIDS are heroes. And these guys are heroes, and everybody out there doing something is a hero. And that's something to celebrate. We acknowledge that our speakers today did their part for World AIDS Day and AIDS Awareness Week. And now we're asking all of you to do your part for World AIDS Day and AIDS Awareness Week. In your programs, you probably or should have found your AIDS Awareness Week message canvas, is what we're calling it. We'd like all of you to bring these out, and Ms. Naomi Brown will explain here what the purpose of this is if you don't already know. But we also want you to be aware that your Wi-Fi earlier, you were asked to turn that off. Well, now is an opportunity or the time you can turn it back on. So yay, I know everybody's happy about that. And if there is a little delay, it will come back on, but you are welcome to turn on your Wi-Fi now so that you can take part in this message canvas. Naomi?
Okay, everybody, you have in your hand, together, we will end AIDS by. I'd like each one of you to now write down how together we are going to end AIDS. And as you write it down, I want you to make sure that you put hashtag AIDS Week, hashtag getting to zero on your message, because what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to blast this out to all of your social media. Blast it out to your Instagram. Blast it out to your Facebook accounts. Let's tell the world how together we are going to end AIDS. So at this moment, I want everybody to take it out. Come on. I don't see y'all moving fast enough. Okay? All right, so we're going to take it out. I want you to write how together we are going to end AIDS. And then I want you to take out your phones, because I know everybody's got a phone with a camera on it. And this is called an unselfie, because it's not about you. It's about what we're going to do together. So write your unselfie, take your picture, put your Wi-Fi back on, and blast it to your social media page. And let's talk about how together we're going to end AIDS. So I should see flashing? Markers? Yes, you may need the person next to you to take the picture. Keep in mind that at any time you can download these and you can give them to people at work, you can give them to people that you know. Just make sure you put hashtag AIDS Week or hashtag getting to zero on it. The important thing is that we want to blast this all over social media, that together we're going to get to zero. So we're going to have a dance group come up, and as they're dancing, I want you guys to remember that when all of this is over, we're going to follow the dance group out, and we're going to have a celebration of light, a luminaire celebration. So right after the dance group, we're going to follow the dance group out for a luminaire celebration. Remember, you don't have to do this now, but make sure that you do try and do it. Spread it for people at work, spread it for people that you know. Let's get it out there, how we're going to get to zero.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. Let it shine. Shine, 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 let it shine. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm to let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, yeah. Everywhere I go, come on and let it. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Down the road. All down the road. Come on and go with me. I'm gonna let it shine. All down the road. All down the road. Come on and go with me. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. All down the road. All down the road. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it
we've developed a group called the San Antonio World AIDS Day Collaborative, also known as SAWADCA. It doesn't matter when you begin planning events like this, you can never count on Texas weather. So what I'd like for you to do, you're going to break out your luminary, this, whatever it's called. Glow stick, thank you. Because we originally planned to have, I think they're called luminaries. And they're these beautiful red things, so I want to get you to visualize. Red, very light paper, standing about this tall, with some type of incendiary device. We're not going to stand here for 13 minutes imagining this thing filling up with hot air, floating into the beyond. You already got that picture in your mind. But reality is, we have our glow stick. Here's another reality. Here's another reality. These glow sticks are symbolic of the light that is in your heart, the love that is there, the knowledge that is in your brain. The light illuminates what is around. Because until they know someone, it's always going to be someone else's issue. There's still people out there that say, I don't know anybody with HIV/AIDS. I don't know anybody who is affected. Surprise. They really do. But they don't because we haven't illuminated their path. Go forth from this place. Illuminate people. Let them know. Touch their lives with your knowledge, with your passion, with your experience. And together, we will bring down to zero new infections in our youth, new infections in our young adults, and new infections in the old codgers that are around. Because we can learn new things too. You matter. We all matter in this place. Go out into the world. Make your stand. Let your light so shine that people will see what is in you. Thank you for being here before you. I want to continue to thank people who have helped to make this possible. The bulletin, sometimes people come up, and sometimes they're like little errors here, there's typos. I'm not the best editorial person in the world. But I want to make sure that you know of someone who has been behind the scenes all this evening. He did the PowerPoint, the presentation of the PowerPoint. He helped organize all that. So I want us to thank Samuel Valdez. And if you are out here and you have been a part of the planning committee, if you would raise your hand, and we want to thank everybody. Everybody. And remember, don't just do your unselfie here. Continue to unselfie out there. Because the people who need to be here aren't here. You're now the choir. Okay. Go out into the world and sing your